Have you ever looked at a company that just explodes and wondered, how in the world did they do that, while so many others seem to stay small? Well, it's not just about getting lucky. It turns out there's a real formula to it, and today we're going to break that down. And, this is the question, right? It's what keeps entrepreneurs up at night, and it's what investors are constantly betting on. The secret is that there's an actual blueprint that these mega successful companies follow, sometimes without even realizing it. So, what do we call these breakout companies? The term is scale-ups. And these are not your average businesses. Oh no, they're the superstars, the ones that create a ton of new jobs, and basically put the whole economy on their backs. But here's the thing, becoming one of these scale-ups, it is incredibly rare. Just to give you some perspective, a study out of Norway found that in 2018, less than 7%, think about that, less than 7% of all active companies actually qualified as high growth. So yeah, it's definitely the exception, not the rule.
Okay, so if it's so rare, what's the secret sauce? How do you get into that elite club? Well, some researchers decided to find out. They went straight to the source and studied the companies that actually pulled it off. And that's what this whole explainer is based on. It's a really cool study from 2025 that looked at 132 of these Norwegian scale-ups. Their whole mission was to figure out, what did they all have in common? What was the engine behind their incredible growth? And what they found is basically a blueprint for success. And what they found was pretty fascinating. It wasn't just one thing, It wasn't just a killer product or brilliant founder. Nope. The real key was this powerful central engine that was driving everything. They gave it a fancy name, of course, Scalable Business Model Innovation. Let's just call it SBMI. And really all it means is a company's ability to innovate its core business model so it can grow like crazy without the whole thing falling apart. All right, so here's the blueprint they came up with. I know it looks a little complicated at first glance, but stick with me. See that box right in the middle? That's our engine, SMBI. Everything else you see is either fuel going in or power coming out. So the big question is, what fuels this engine? Well, the first part of the fuel is all about the people. It comes straight from the founders themselves. It's not just about the business idea. It's about their specific mindset, their ambition, and who they know. And the study zeroed in on 3 key things. First, being proactive. These founders don't wait for things to happen, they make them happen. Second, they have a global mindset right from the get-go. And third, they have powerful networks they can tap into for money, for advice, for everything. These are like the essential ingredients you need before you even start. And this quote from the study really nails it. For these successful entrepreneurs, going global isn't some maybe someday dream. No way. That ambition to scale is literally part of the company's DNA from day one. Okay, so the founder's mindset is the spark plug. But every engine needs a solid chassis, right? So the other part of the fuel is the business's foundation, the actual structure of the company and its product. And here, they found 2 absolute pillars. On one hand, you've got product market fit. That's just having something that people really, really want. On the other hand, you have something called high switching costs. This is where you make your product so essential to your customers that the thought of leaving is just a massive headache. Like trying to switch your entire company from Google Workspace to Microsoft 365 overnight. It's a huge, costly pain. So here's how to think about it. Product market fit is what gets you invited to the party. It's your ticket in. But high switching costs, that's what makes sure you never have to leave. It builds this protective moat around your business that competitors just can't cross. And let's go back to our blueprint for a sec. See how it all connects? You've got the human elements, the founder's mindset, and the business elements, the foundation. And they're both being piped directly into that SBMI engine in the middle. This is what gets it firing on all cylinders. All right, so you've got your engine. You're pumping it full of the right fuel, the founder's drive, a killer product market fit. So what happens now? Well, this is the fun part. This is the payoff. The study found a really clear, direct line from having a strong SBMI engine to 2 massive outcomes. First, you can actually go global and succeed. And second, you start hitting those crazy growth targets. We're talking revenue, hiring, the whole shebang. And this isn't just a hunch. They've got the data to back it up. I mean, look at this chart. It shows a really strong positive link. The numbers are clear. The better your SBMI, the better your chances are of going international and hitting your growth goals. Simple as that. So if we look at the whole blueprint one last time, it all clicks into place, right? You have the fuel on the left, the founder and the business foundation, that powers the SBMI engine in the center. And that engine produces the results on the right, global expansion and massive growth. That is the formula for a scale-up. So really, the big takeaway here is that scalable business model innovation isn't just some buzzword you hear in a boardroom. It's the actual bridge. It's what connects a founder's big dream to the reality of global success. It's the machine that turns what if into what is. Which really leaves us with one final, crucial question for any entrepreneur or leader out there. It's not enough to just have a great idea or a powerful ambition. The real question you have to ask yourself is, are you actively building the engine that's going to get you there?